mercy never fails me. And all my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You will lead me through the fire, and in darkest night you were close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. Yeah. And all my life you have been faithful. Oh, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Yeah. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running, it keeps running after me. And all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna sing. Oh, 'cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. With every breath, over all my days.
The little things that people do to you, you go off. You fight, you send text messages, you insult. If even you lose it and you want to insult, don't test insult, because memories are forever. Control your anger, control yourself. And when they have mishandled you, don't mishandle them. Take it easy. Let life be a bit easy. Let others insult you and go scot-free. And so what? It doesn't change your color. It doesn't change your eye. They may disrespect you, but thank God you go elsewhere and they hold you in high esteem. That is okay. That is all right. The only thing is that I know I will not always come for you to disrespect me, but for where I am celebrated, I will go there. But when I meet you, if I need to put a smile on you, if I need to pay for your ticket, if I need to pay for your lunch, I will pay for your lunch, I will pay for your ticket. And you might think I am a fool. I am not a fool. I just want to become somebody's neighbor. When you buy a new car, the first 1 week, you feel like sleeping in it. Hey, what a car, man. You have a new Land Cruiser. Hey, you feel good. But after 3 days, after 4 days, after 1 year, you realize that I don't think this is what gives me joy. But watch it. When you give somebody a cloth and you come to church and you see the person wearing the same cloth in church, look at the level of fulfillment you have in your spirit. Not because you are clothed them, but because you help them and you can see that what the help you gave to them is being utilized and utilized well. It gives you a satisfaction that goes beyond paying your children's school fees. You shall escape the trap others could not escape. You shall escape the trap others could not escape. You shall escape the armed robbers others could not escape. You shall escape the trap that others were entrapped with. You shall escape. Shout, I shall escape. I'm continuing from where we left off yesterday night. How the Bible said that they entered into the ship. I have told you that every one of you, if you want to pass to the other side, you must enter the ship. Tell your neighbor, enter the ship. I don't like the way you are responding. Tell your neighbor, enter the ship.
Enter the ship.
Don't forget this, that there are other little ships with the ship of Jesus. And then the Bible says that there was a great storm of wind, to an extent that the waves beat into the ship, so that the ship was now full. And then Jesus was sleeping in the ship that was almost full with water. And then they went and they awake him. And then they said unto him, how careless are you, master? How even in carelessness mastership could be exhibited?
kushaya hanya kwake utenzi unoramba uripo.
Your mastership should never only be exhibited
Utenzi wako haufaniri kungoonekwa chete
in the midst of solutions.
paunenge uchigadzirisa zvinhu.
Your mastership
Utenzi wako
should not be exhibited
haufaniri kungoonekwa chete
only in the midst of completion,
paunenge wagona basa,
but even in the midst of carelessness.
asi mukushaiwa hanya kwako
Your mastership should be exhibited.
utenzi wako ngauonekwe.
If your mastership is not known,
Kana utenzi wako usingazivikanwe,
and if your mastership is not exhibited,
kana utenzi wako usingaonekwe,
even in the midst of chaos,
kunyange pakati pemhirizhonga,
then you are not a master,
hausati wavatenzi,
but you have been mastered.
asi una tenzi.
Maybe you didn't hear it. I said, if your mastership is not exhibited
Kana utenzi wako usina kuratidzwa
in the midst of chaos,
pakati pe
in the midst of incompletion,
pakati pemhirizhonga,
in the midst of extreme poverty,
pakati penhamo huru,
if your mastership cannot be exhibited,
kana utenzi wako usingaonekwe,
then it means you are not a master,
saka hausi tenzi
but you have been mastered.
asi uri muranda.
The reason why a lot of people become blessed
Chikonzera vanhu vazhinji vachiropa
and their character change
unhu hwavo hoshanduka
is because they didn't take the opportunity to master money, but when they got blessed, the monies began to master them.
kuti havana kutora mukana wokuva tenzi wemari asi vakatendera mari kuti ive tenzi wavo.
Master your condition
Iva tenzi pamusoro pezvauri kupindana nazvo
before your condition masters you.
zvisati zvava tenzi wako.
Do me a favor.
Ndiitiro chinhu ichi,
Tell 3 people,
udza vanhu vatatu,
master your condition
iva
Master
tenzi
your
pamusoro
condition
pezvaungapindana
before your
nazvo.
condition masters you.
For your condition
Zvisati zvava
masters you.
tenzi wako.
Jesus is sitting in the ship.
Jesu ari muchikepe,
He is not absent of the ship.
hakusi kuti haaku,
He is present in the ship.
arimo muchikepe ichi,
But the storm came.
asi dutu rinongosimuka zvakati.
Though he was in the ship,
Kunyange anga arimo muchikepe,
the storm
dutu
came.
rakangouya.
But I came to announce to every one of my hearers this afternoon,
Ndauya kuzoudza wese ari kundinzwa masikati ano
but that the storm
kuti dutu
is not to destroy you,
harina kuuya kuzokuparadza,
but the storm
asi dutu
is to bring the best out of your life.
vauya kuzoratidza zvakanaka zvakavanzika mauri.
When there is a strong wind,
Kana paita mhepo yakasimba,
little children
vana vadiki
are put to flight,
vanotiza,
but that is when
asi ipapo
eagles fly better.
ndo panobhururuka.
My question to you this morning
Mubvunzo wangu kwauri woti
is, are you an eagle
kuti uri gondo here
or you a smaller bird?
kana kuti uri kashiri kadiki.
Not until there is a storm,
Kana pasati pamuka dutu
we cannot separate
hatigone kupatsanura
ordinary birds
shiri dzimwewo idzi
from eagles.
namakondo,
But the storm
asi dutu
is a segregant
rinouya kuzopatsanura,
that separates
ichipatsanura
ordinary people
vanhuwo zvavo
from
vakajairika
extraordinary people.
neavo vasina kujairika.
I came to ask you,
Ndauya kuzokubvunza,
are you just an ordinary member of UFIC,
ungoriwo here mutenda akajairika
or you are an extraordinary member of this church?
kana kuti uri mutenda asina kujairika?
The only way
Nzira chete
to prove this
yaungazivikanwe nayo
is when the storm comes.
ndekunge dutu rasumuka.
That is why the writer
Ndipo munyori
said, I will build my house
paanoti ndichavaka imba yangu
on a solid rock,
padombo,
because I know
nekuti ndinoziva
that there shall be the wind.
kuti kuchauya mhepo,
I know
ndinoziva
there shall be the earthquake,
kuti pachauya,
but I shall not be moved.
asi handingazunungutswi.
Why?
Sei
My house
imba yangu
has been built
yakavakwa
on a rock.
pamusoro pedombo.
I came to ask you this question.
Ndauya kuzokubvunza mubvunzo,
Are you just an ordinary member,
ungoriwo nhengo yakajairika
or you are a member of conviction?
kana kuti uri
Whether you like it or not,
uchida usingadi,
Jesus is in this house.
Jesu ari muimba iyi,
Jesus is in the ship.
Jesu ari muchikepe.
He is not outside of the ship,
Asi kunze kwechikepe.
but there could be storms in your life.
Asi unogona kuita
But I came to make an announcement
ndauya kuzokuudza chinhu ichi.
that the storm might destroy other people,
Kuti dutu ringaparadze vanhu.
but you,
Asi iwe
the storm will not destroy you.
dutu haringakuparadze.
It is not how what happens to you that matters.
Hazvisi izvo zvinoitika kwauri.
Anything can happen to you,
Unogona kungowirwa nechinhu.
but it is how you survive.
Asi kararamiro
It is
kaunozoita.
how you survive.
Kararamiro kaunozoita.
It is how you survive.
Kararamiro kaunozoita.
It is how you survive.
Kararamiro kaunozoita.
Jesus is in the ship.
Jesu ari muchikepe.
Do you know many a times
Unoziya here nguva zhinji.
when you go through the challenges of life,
Kana uchipindana namatambudziko epano.
you are part of this church
Uri mukereke ino.
and you lose a husband.
Urasikirwa nemurume.
You are part of this
Uri
church
mukereke ino.
and you lose a wife.
Urasikirwa nemudzimai.
You are part of this
Uri
church
mukereke ino.
and you lose your business.
Urasikirwa nebhizimusi.
You lose your company.
Urasikirwa nekambani
And then
yako.
you have friends
Une shamwari
that will come and ask you,
dzinouya dzichikubvunza.
we told you,
Takakuudza.
but you didn't listen.
Asi hauna kunzwa.
I thought you said
Ndaifunga kuti
your
wakati
father was a prophet.
baba wako muprofita.
Yes,
Wangu.
my father is a prophet,
Baba wangu muprofita.
but it is the storm
Asi dutu
that brings the prophetic out of me.
rinobudisa chiprofita chiri mandiri.
Oh my God, my God. Some of you,
Vamwe venyu
you sit down
unogara pasi
for people to ask you all forms of questions.
kuti vanhu vakubvunze mibvunzo
If
yese
Jesus
yakasiyana.
was in this ship,
Kana Jesu anga ari muchikepe,
why did your husband divorce you?
sei murume wako akakuramba?
If truly
Kana zvokwadi,
UFIC
UFIC
is a prophetic church,
iri kereke yechiprofita,
why should what happened to you happen to you?
sei zvakaitika kwauri
And
zvakaitika?
some of you,
Vamwe venyu
you are even deciding
wakutonzwa
to
kuti
exit this church.
ndakuti sarudze
Why?
kuda
Because you think
nekuti unofunga kuti
that it is because Jesus
kuti Jesu
is outside of the ship.
ari kunze
But
kwechikepe.
I came to announce to you
Ndauya kuzokuudza
that there are times
kuti pane nguva
that the only thing
kuti chinhu
that proves
chinoratidza
that you are in the right church
uri mukereke chaiyo
is the storms
idutu rinomuka,
that you encounter.
dutu rauno.
If you are not in the right church,
Kana usiri mukereke
the
chaiyo
devil will not target you.
wakaipa
If
anga.
Jesus is not in the ship,
Kana Jesu asiri
the
muchikepe
devil shall not waste his resources.
wakaipa angatambisa
But I
nguva yake.
promise you today,
Ndinokuvimbisa nhasi
anything can happen to you,
unogona kuwirwa
but you
nechero
get
chii,
something out of anything.
asi pane zvaunowana.
Jesus was in the ship,
Jesu anga ari muchikepe
but the storms hit the ship.
asi dutu rakawira chikepe.
Jesus was in the ship,
Jesu aiva muchikepe
but there was a great storm of wind.
asi pakamuruka dutu
A
zhinji,
great storm of wind,
dutu guru remhepo,
which means that there is a great storm,
zvinoreva kuti pane dutu guru
but the origin of this storm
asi kwariri kubva
is the wind.
riri kubva kumhepo.
And so everybody is scared.
Saka munhu wese anga akutya.
Why?
Sei?
Because the wind has targeted the ship.
Nekuti
Whenever you become a target
kana wanangwa iwe
for the enemy,
nemuvengi
you've got to conclude
unofanira kusvika paunoti
that you are a potential.
kuti une zviri mauri.
You see, the devil has been around for years.
Wakaipa ane makore aripo.
And trust you me, he is a very, very good investor.
Ziva kuti anogona kuchengetedza.
The devil doesn't just invest.
Haangoisa pfuma yake pese pese.
He's a very, very good investor.
Anogona kuchengetedza pfuma.
So when the devil mobilizes resources
Kana wakaipa aunganidza pfuma
and then begins to target your ship,
wonangana nechikepe chako,
and he begins to invest in your ship,
woisa pfuma yake yakanangana nechikepe chako,
you've got to conclude
unofanira kusvika paunozudza
that you are a potential.
kuti une zvakaiswa mauri.
The devil will not waste his resources for nothing.
Wakaipa atambisire pfuma yake pasina.
Why will he spare other little ships?
Sei asingabata tumwe tuzikepe tudiki utu,
But he will target your ship.
asi onangana nechikepe chako.
Why is it that other people are spared?
Sei vamwe vanhu vasingarwiswe?
Why is it that at your workplace,
Sei zvichiti kubasa kwenyu
your boss lives in a better house?
mukuru wako anogara muimba yakanaka,
He drives a better car.
anotyaira motokari yakanaka,
He has better salary.
anotambira mari yakanaka,
And yet,
asi
you have never disrespected him.
hausati wambotadza kumuremekedza.
He hates you.
Anokuvenga,
He is fighting you.
anokurwisa.
I came to tell you,
Ndauya kuzokuudza chinhu.
you may not earn what he earns. You may not earn what he earns,
unogona kunge usingatambire yaanotambira,
but you carry what he doesn't carry.
asi wakatakura chaasina kutakura.
Whenever the devil targets you,
Wakaipa akakunanga,
you've got to understand that you are a potential for something great.
unofanira kuziva kuti mune mabasa makuru akaiswa mauri.
Have you asked yourself?
Wakambozvibvunzawo here?
Every day,
Kuti mazuva ose
UFIC is in the newspapers.
UFIC inenge iri mumapepa nawo.
Why is it not other churches?
Sei kusina dzimwe kereke?
Why should it not be other churches?
Sei kusingaite dzimwe kereke?
Why is it that nobody is under attack?
Sei kusina mumwe ari kurwiswa?
Why is it that the devil is targeting nobody?
Sei wakaipa asina mumwe wakananga?
I came to announce to you,
Ndauya kuzokuzivisa.
if it is the Jesus in your boat
Kana muina Jesu muchikepe
that is
chako,
attracting the kind of battles you are attracting,
ndiye ari kukwezva.
then I'm prophesying over you.
Nganichiprofita kwauri.
You are coming out honorably.
Uri kubuda-
You are coming out better than they attacked you.
uri kubuda
They
wakananga
destroyed your
zvo.
position. They destroyed your influence.
Vaka-
But you are coming out better and stronger.
Asi uri kubuda
They
wasimba
can
raswa.
attack the ship,
Vakarwisa chikepe
but
chako,
this ship will never be broken.
asi chikepe ichi hachipwanyike.
You see,
Unoona?
you've got to understand this.
Unofanira kunzwisisa chinhu ichi.
Your strength is not in your money.
Simba rako harisi mumari yako.
Your strength is not in your influence.
Simba rako harisi mumukurumbira wako.
But your strength is in your stability.
Asi simba rako riri pakugadzikana kwako.
This is what I mean.
Ndo zvandinoreva izvi.
Where your strength is,
Pane simba rako,
it's not having money to buy a car.
hapasi pakuva nemari yekutenga motokari.
But even in the midst of your financial crisis,
Asi mukushungurudzwa kwako munyaya dzemari,
you have still survived.
wakararama zvakadaro.
That is what I call strength.
Ndo randinoti simba iroro.
I told you the other day,
Ndakakuudzai rimwe ramazuva
this is my definition of faith.
kuti ndo chandinoti kutenda ichi.
To me, faith is not believing for it
Kutenda hakusi kutenda
and then receiving it the next day. You trusted God for a thing,
wakavimba naMwari uchida chimwe chinhu
and then He visited you with a miracle.
ndokukushanyira nemunana.
To me, that is not faith.
Kwandiri hausi
Can I define my own version of faith?
ndodudzira here kuti kwangu kutenda
To me, this is faith. To me, this is faith.
ndo kutenda kwangu.
Believing God for a miracle.
Tenda Mwari kuti ashanditira munana.
The miracle hasn't occurred.
Munana hausati waitika.
You are still in crisis,
Uchiri padambudziko.
but you don't relent.
Asi
After 5 years,
mushure memakore
you
matatu,
don't have a miracle.
munana hausati wauya.
But this is the faith.
Ndo kutenda.
But you still know
Asi uchiri
that faithful is the God that said it,
kuti Mwari akataura
who also will do it.
achaita.
Your situation hasn't changed,
Dambudziko rako harisati rapera.
but you still believe in the God that promised you.
Asi uchiri kutenda kuna Mwari akakuvimbisa.
This is what I call faith.
Ndo zvandinoti kutenda izvi.
Because do you know this?
Nekuti unomboziva here chinhu ichi.
That the situation in which you are,
Dambudziko rauinaro iri.
the situation that causes you to lose a husband,
Dambudziko raita kuti murume wako aende.
you lost your children,
Wakarasikirwa navana.
you have lost your business,
Wakarasikirwa nebhizimisi.
you have fallen from grace into grass.
Wakawa pasi zvachose.
But this is the amazing thing about you.
Asi chinoshamisa newe ndechichi.
You have still not denounced your God.
Hauna kumbotadza.
You still come to church and lift up holy hands.
Ramba uchiya kukereke uchisimudza
And
maoko.
then they are laughing at you.
Vachikuseka uko.
Wait a minute and ask them this question.
Mira uvabvunze mubvunzo uyu.
If you face the storms I face,
Ukasangana nedutira ndosangana.
could you have survived what I survived?
Dai wakararama here sezvindaita izvi.
If you encounter what I encounter,
Dai wanga wakasangana nezvo ndakasangana
if
nazvo.
you lose the position I lost,
Dai wakarasikirwa nechigaro
if you lose the husband I lost,
Dai wakarasikirwa nemurume.
if you lose the monies I lost,
Wakarasikirwa nemari yandakarasikirwa.
you'll have lost your brains.
Dai wakarasikirwa
But I lost it, but I'm still around.
ndakarasikirwa nazvo asi
I lost it, but I'm still alive.
ndakarasikirwa nazvo asi ndichiri
I lost it, but I'm still stronger than before.
ndakarasikirwa nazvo asi ndichaka.
Oh my God, my God, my God, my God, my God. The storms will not destroy you,
Dutu harikupedze.
but the storms will bring the best out of your life.
Asi dutu rinoburitsa zvakavanzika zviri mauri.
That is why I told you the other day that I came here that your strength is not in what you have,
Simba rako harisi mune zvauinazvo.
but your strength is in what you have been through.
asi simba rako riri muzvawapindana nazvo.
Do you know
Unomboziva
anybody
chero munhu
can drive a Nissan
anogona kutyaira
Patrol? Anybody can drive a Land Cruiser?
munhu anogona kutyaira
Anybody can wear a designer suit?
anogona kupfeka masutu akanaka,
Anybody can wear a designer shoe?
anogona kupfeka boots.
Anybody can live in a big house?
Chero munhu anogona kungogara.
Anybody can live in Borodale Brook?
Munhu anogona kungowana imba kuBorodale Brook.
But it is not everybody
Asi munhu wese
that can go through what you have been through.
anogona kupindana nezvawaka.
So your value is not in what you have,
Saka chiremerera chako hachisi
but
nezvauinazvo.
your value is in the battles that you have fought and conquered.
Asi muhondo dzawakarwa.
You are still not a failure. You are still not a failure.
Hauna kukundikana.
The fact that the storms have come
Iko kuti dutu rakauya
does not mean your end has come.
hazvirevi kuti magumo ako auya.
There is something good for your life.
Pane chakanakira upenyu hwako.
The storms will bring the best out of your life.
Dutu richaunza
Talk to 5 people for me. The storms will bring the best out of your life.
richaunza zvakanaka zveupenyu hwako.
Master,
Tenzi,
carest thou not
hamuna hanya here
that we perish?
kuti toparara.
And then Jesus
Jesu
rises up
anomuka
and does the right thing at the right time.
woita chinhu chaicho panguva chaiyo.
Don't buy a $200,000 4x4 if you don't have a $200,000 house.
Usatenge mota ye200,000 usina imba ye200,000.
Don't go and buy a suit for $2,000 if your income is $500.
Usaende unotenga sutu ye2,000 iwe uchitambira 500.
You've got to know what to address at every particular time. Set your priorities right.
Unofanira kuziya zvekugadzirisa panguva yazvo.
Some of you see, the Bible says that in comparing themselves one to the other, they were not wise.
Bhaibheri rinoti pakuzvienzanisa vakashaya uchenjeri.
Some of you don't look to your size and cut your coat according to your size.
Vamwe venyu hamutarise mazera enyu.
You address the wrong time at the wrong thing at the right time.
Unoita zvinhu chaizvo zvinhu zvisiri izvo panguva chaiyo.
And some of you, because your friend has bought a new car, you got to buy a new car at all costs. That is why you owe more than you have.
Vamwe venyu nekuti hama yako yatenga motokari unonzwa kuti rega nditengewo yangu hazvisina mhosva kuti yaita mari.
The Bible says, Jesus said,
Bhaibheri rinoti Jesu anoti
I will set my priorities right.
ndicharonga zvinhu zvangu
I'll
nemaitiro
put down my scale of preferences.
ndicharonga zvinhu zvangu nemaringa zvinofana.
I will only buy a car when I know I can afford it without sweat.
Ndinotenga motikari kana ndaakuziva kuti ndaakukwanisa kuita.
I will not put pressures on myself.
Handingazviremedze.
I will address the wind before the man.
Ndichataura nedutu.
He could have addressed the man before the wind.
Ndichataura nemhepo ndisati taura nemunhu.
But he said, if I do,
asi anotanga taura nemunhu.
any other second may mess us up.
Zvimwe zvose zvingagone kutikanganisa.
So he addresses the wind.
Saka anotaura nemhepo.
I told you a few days ago that he did not address the storm,
Ndakutaurirai kuti haana kutaura nedutu.
but he addressed the wind.
Asi akataura nemhepo.
And when he addressed the wind,
Paanotaura nemhepo.
the storm also ceased.
Dutu rakabva radzikama.
Remember, it was a great storm of wind,
Rangarira kuti ranga riri dutu guru remhepo.
which means that the origin of this storm is the wind.
Zvinoreva kuti dutu iri raibva mumhepo.
Don't address the storm when you have to address the wind.
Haikona kutaura nedutu uchifanira kutaura nemhepo.
That is why a lot of people are not progressing in life,
Ndochikonzera vanhu vazhinji vasiri kubudirira muupenyu.
because we are not addressing the wind, we are only addressing the storm. And when you address the storm and the storm ceases, the wind will bring another storm.
Nekuti hatisi kutaura nemhepo, tiri kutaura nedutu. Asi dutu rikapera, mhepo inousimudza zvakare.
But when you address the wind
Asi ukataura nemhepo,
and you stand tall in your bedroom,
wotanga kugadzirisa
and you
mubhedha
look at the spirit of divorce
wotarisa mweya
that
wokuramba
destroyed your grandmother's marriage,
wakaparadza
and destroyed your mother's marriage and wants to destroy your marriage, you would pull down every tool and then you tell the spirit of divorce, I am not going to attract my husband by makeup, because if I do the makeup, I have not solved the problem. You rise and confront that spirit of divorce and say it is not about the storm. It is not about the storm, but it is about the wind behind the storm. Whenever you are confronted with any storm, stand for a minute and address the wind behind the storm. There is a wind behind that divorce. There is a wind behind the challenges of this nation. There is a wind behind your finances. Don't sit down and address the storm. Rise up and address the wind, and when the wind ceases, the storm shall cease. Some of you think that dealing with the destinies of your children is taking them to the Ivy schools, to Yale and to Oxford and to Cambridge and to all the top schools. You are just solving the storm. It is in the Ivy schools that children learn how to sniff cocaine. It is in the Ivy schools that children become corrupt. And so when you want your children to rise up well, it is not the kind of schools you take them to, but every day you got to rise up out of your bed and lay hands on your children and decree and prophesy over your children. You shall not be the tail, but you shall be the head. You shall be above and not beneath. You want to speak over the wind. And when you speak over the wind, the storm shall cease. It is it not sad when we have to be masters over the wind? We have become masters over the storm. We deal with things on the surface every now and then, and that is why the enemy always takes advantage of us. But from today, if you want a promotion, deal with the wind behind the storm. From today, if you want prosperity, deal with the wind behind the storm. From today, if you want a good marriage, deal with the wind behind the storm. There is always a wind behind a storm. And the moment Jesus rebukes the wind, the Bible said, be called the Prince of Peace. Your money will buy you happiness, but your God will give you peace. Peace is not known when you have money, but peace is experienced even in the absence of money. Peace is what you need, because your money can only buy you a bed, but then your peace will give you a sleep. Your money will buy you food, but your peace will give you the appetite to consume your food. I pray and I release the peace of God upon your life and your destiny. And instantly, when he called for peace, the Bible said peace showed up. It is getting interesting. And then the Bible said that he turns to them. He said, I dealt with the wind, but now let me deal with you. When you have enjoyed So much the serenity within your peace. That is when you turn back to address the less important things. And then he addresses them and said, why are you without faith? Why are you so faithless? And then instantly they begin to say, what manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? Which meant that the sea and the wind have taught them a lesson that they human beings could not even learn from Jesus. They had been answered by the sea, and they had been answered by the wind. What manner of man is this, that even the sea and the wind obey him? And then chapter 5, the verse 1. They came over onto the country, onto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. When you are from Zimbabwe, you are called a Zimbabwean. When you are from Ghana, you are called a Ghanaian. When you are from Zambia, you are called a Zambian. So he came to the country of the Gadarenes. He came to the country of Gad. The country of the Gadarenes is the country of Gad. When they started the journey, they didn't know where they were going. But then when they started the journey, they have no idea where they are going to. But the Bible said it was after they completed the journey that they then understood where they were going to. Some of you, you have just started your businesses. You don't know where the business is going to. But I prophesy over you, a year by now, you will understand where God was taking the business to. Many a times, he begins a thing with you, but you don't know where it is going to end. But this is the problem. When we don't know the future of the thing, we think the thing doesn't have a future. Can I say it again? Many of us, when we have not seen the future of a thing and we don't know the future of the thing, we think that the thing doesn't have a future. But there are times you may not know the future of the thing, but this is what he said: I know the plans I have for you, plans of good and not of evil, to bring you to an expected end. You may not know where you are going to, but I came to tell you, your future is guaranteed. Your future is guaranteed. Many a times you go through a situation. I quite remember when the Lord first called me and I had come out of school. I was a school dropout. And I had no parents that were rich. My parents were so broke that when the 10 Commandments were broken, we were so broke. Poverty was our middle name. Nothing was working for us. And I quite remember the Lord. One day when we were in worship, when we had slept in a school, I slept in school, uncompleted schools, for 5 years. And when we were worshiping, and then the Spirit of the Lord ministered to me, son, I will take you to the nations. You shall advise presidents. You shall advise prime ministers. You shall be the head of your family. The Lord shall give you sons and daughters that you shall raise up. I'll take you to America for the gospel. And when the Lord told me all these, I said, oh God, I'm worshiping you because I still love you. Don't come and mess me up here. I'm not saying don't try to impress me so I will say I will love you. I said, for where I am with you, nothing can separate me from the love of Christ. Oh God, how can you be this unrealistic? How can I go to America? What kind of English am I going to use to preach in America? You know I'm a school dropout. You are telling me I will advise president. God, stop that, stop that, stop that. You leave me to worship and to love you. But the interesting thing here, as I start preaching, is that they have come to the country of the Gardarians. And it is in the country of the Gardarians that there is a man that has been captured by the legend spirit, by a troop. And this guy is under the influence of this troop. He sleeps when they said he should sleep, and eats what he said you should eat. Genesis chapter 49 verse 19.
Read it. Genesis chapter 49. I'm reading from verse 19. God, a troop shall overcome him.
Listen to this. There is the general of God. That is called Jacob. Just before he dies, he summons his sons and tells the children, let me tell you of what is to become of you. And then he speaks over Reuben. He said, Reuben, you are my firstborn. You are the excellency of my abilities. But Reuben, I prophesy over you that unstable as waters, you shall not excel. He said, why could you, O Levi and Simeon, rise up over innocent souls and destroy their destinies and their lives? You should have been great, but because of what you did, your greatness has been shut down, cut short. He looks into the eyes of Judah. The praise that we just did. The praise that we just did. And he told Judah, if your brethren can fear anything, it is you. If you want to be fearful, you've got to learn to praise. Because you are only fearful, and your siblings will be afraid of you when Judah rises up. Judah means praise. The reason why praise has become so powerful is because Jacob prophesied it. He said the scepter, the authority to rule, will never be taken out of your house. He prophesies over all his children, over Zebulun. But then he comes to the verse 19. And then he says, he comes to verse 19. And then he says, God,
Iwe God.
Listen to me.
Nditeerere.
I am telling you
Ndiri kukuudza
what is to befall you.
zvichakuwira.
If you play with anything,
Ukatamba nezvimwe zvese,
never play with the prophetic.
usatambe nechiprofita.
Because the prophetic
Nekuti chiprofita
never has an expiry date.
hachina.
Once it is declared,
Kana chataurwa chete,
not until it is accomplished,
chinotomirira kusvika chazadzika.
it will never return back unto God void.
Hachidzoka.
He looks into the eyes of God
Anotarisa mumeso aGadhi.
and he said, God,
Oti God,
whether you like it or not,
uchida usingade,
there shall be a troop
pachaita hondo
that shall overtake you.
ichakukurira,
They shall overcome you.
ichakukunda,
They shall conquer you.
ichakutora utapwa.
But I promise over you,
Asi ndinokuvimbisa chinhu
at the last hour,
pakupedzisira,
at the last day,
zuva
at
rekupedzisira,
the last minute.
pamagumo.
That is why other translations state it this way. Thou Jesus, Son of the living God,
Imi Jesu
have thou come to destroy me as before our time?
mauya kuzotiparidza here nguva yedu
Which means that we will never leave
kuti hatibve pano
until that set time that has been declared by the patriarch called Jacob is fulfilled.
kuti nguva kusvika nguva yakataurwa naJakobo yakwana.
Look at what the demon said.
Tarisa zvakataurwa namadhimoni.
Jesus,
Jesu,
we plead with you
tinokukumbirisai
in the name of God.
nezita raMwari,
Don't release us before our time.
musatidzinge pano nguva yedu isati yakwana.
So which means that this thing about the troop and the legion,
Zvinoreva kuti nhau iyi pamusoro pehondo,
God was involved.
Mwari anga arimo mukati mayo.
Yes, sir.
He said, I plead with you
Tinokukumbirisai
in the name of God.
nezita raMwari.
What the demons are saying is that
Madhimoni zvanotaura ndezvizvi.
this issue
Nhau iyi
about the troop
yehondo iyi
is between four people.
ine vanhu vana.
It's between God,
Ina Gadhi mukati.
it is between us, the troop.
Inesu isu hondo.
It is between Jesus, who has the perfect timing,
Ina Jesu asvika panguva chaiyo.
and it is between God.
Ina Mwari.
Let's do a conference here.
Ngatite musangano pano.
Jacob declared
Jakobo wakatema chirevo
that this troop
kuti hondo iyi
shall overcome God.
ichakurira Gadhi.
But at the last day,
Asi pamagumo
there shall be a man that will say,
pachava nemurume achati
how God anointed Jesus Christ of Nazareth,
Mwari vakazodza Jesu Kristu
who went
wa Nazareth,
about doing good
akafamba achiita mabasa akanaka
and delivering all those that were oppressed by the enemy.
kuitira vakatapuka nemuvengi.
So Jesus is involved.
Jesu arimo,
He's the only one with a set time.
ndiye chete ane nguva yacho.
And then he said, let us bring God here.
Kuti ngatiunzei Mwari pano.
If the time is not up,
Kana nguva isati
let us consult God.
ngatibvunzei Mwari
Because God was the witness.
nekuti Mwari ndiye akaita.
So Jesus,
Saka Jesu
let's consult with God.
ngatibvunzei.
Do you realize
Unomboziva here
that when there is a prophetic decree
kana kuti patemwa
and a prophetic word is said,
shoko rechiprofita
God is involved?
Mwari arimo,
God is involved.
Mwari arimo.
The sad thing is that the demons know,
madhimoni anoziva
but we don't know.
asi isu hatizive.
Now, Jesus said,
Jesu anoti
I know the timing,
ndinoziva nguva yacho,
so I know the timing is now.
ndinoziva kuti nguva
I
ndizvo.
have already consulted God.
Ndakatobvunza Mwari kare.
Remember,
Rangarira
when he mentioned the name of God,
pakataura zita
the
raMwari,
devil is called the accuser.
wakaipa anonzi
So
mupomeri.
when he released his word,
Saka kanaka rekera
if God
zita
was
racho.
not involved
Dai Mwari anga asimo mukati
and
menyaya.
Jesus had not responded,
Jesu asina
he would
kudavira.
have accused the justice of Jesus.
Angadai akapomera utongi
But he
wa
did not
Jesu.
respond.
Asi haana kudavira.
He did not respond.
Haana kudavira.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Vana baba nana amai.
this is what Isaac said.
Ndo zvinotaurwa naIsaka izvi.
My son Esau,
Mwanakomana wangu Esau,
go and prepare me venison.
enda unondiurayira mhuka.
And when I am full
Kana ndadya ndaguta,
by eating your food,
ndadya zvawabika,
and I am satisfied,
ndagutsikana,
then my soul
mweya wangu
will bless you.
wokuropafadza.
This is contradictory.
Zvinoita sezvinopikisana.
Why is it, daughter? It is because I thought Jacob had a blessing in the mother's womb from God.
ndaifunga kuti Jacobo ane ropafadzo
I thought that God himself had already declared over Jacob that I love you and my blessings is upon you.
Mwari pache zvakakanga atotema chireo pamusoro paJacobo kuti
And did he need another blessing?
aizoda here imwe ropafadzo.
But we see a man that has the blessings of God running over to so that he could attract the blessings of a man.
Asi tiri kuona vachita mutsimba kuti vakwezve ropafadzo yemunhu.
There is a blessing that God gives,
Pane ropafadzo inopiwa naMwari.
and there is a blessing a man can give.
Yes,
Ropafadzo
sir.
inopiwa
Yes, sir.
nemunhu.
Are you here?
Uri pano here?
Are you here?
Uri pano here?
Are you here?
Uri pano here?
A troop shall overcome you.
Hondo ichakukurira.
Jesus said, come out.
Jesu anoti buda.
Jesus said, what is your name?
Jesu anoti zita rako ndiani?
And then he responds and says,
Iye anopindura achiti
I am the legion.
ndinonzi Region.
And the meaning of the legion, the synonym
Iko
of
kuti
a legion
Region
is a troop.
zvinoreva hondo.
Look at when this man is in town. When this man is in town,
Kana munhu yapinda muguta,
the whole city of God is shut down.
guta rese raGadhi
Nobody walks.
hakuna anofamba,
Nobody works.
hakuna anoshanda.
If you try to put chains on him,
Mukaedza kumusunga
the
neketani,
guy's timing is not up.
nguva yake haisati yakwana.
When there is a prophetic, negative prophetic decree
Kana paine shoko rinorwisa
that has been decreed over your life,
rakatemwa pamusoro peupenyu,
it will take a prophet
rinotoda muprofita
to reverse it off your life.
kuti ari kubvisa
That is why you need a prophet in your life.
pamusoro. Ndopaunoda muprofita.
That is why I need a prophet in my life.
Saka ndina muprofita muupenyu hwangu.
Watch this.
Tarira,
This is what the greatest of prophets said.
ndo zvakataurwa nemuprofita mukuru
He is called Isaiah.
anonzi Isaya.
In Isaiah chapter 54,
Bhuku yaIsaya chisango chamakumi
this is
mashanu
what verse 11 says.
ndima yegumi neimwe inoti,
No weapon fashioned against you
hakuna munondo unogadzirirwa iwe
shall prosper.
unobudirira.
That is to say,
Kuti
when a weapon is fashioned against you,
kana munondo wagadzirirwa iwe,
you can go and sleep.
unogona kuenda unokotsera
It will
zvako,
not prosper.
haubudirire.
Okay, finish clapping and then I'll continue speaking.
Furirai mberi
It means that when somebody enacts a trap
zvinoda kuti munhu akaita musungo
against your life,
akateya upenyu hwako,
go to bed.
enda zvako unozvirarira,
It shall not prosper.
haubudirire.
Yes.
But he didn't finish there.
Asi haana kuperera ipapo,
But any word
asi shoko ripi zvaro
that shall be lifted up against you,
rinorwisana newe,
don't go to bed
haikwenda kuenda kunokotsera
and say it shall not prosper.
woti haribudirire.
He said, when weapons are set in place,
Anoti kana minondo
say it shall
yagadzirwa
not prosper.
iti haibudirire.
But when words are declared,
Asi kana pataurwa shoko,
you have a responsibility.
iwe waane basa.
He said, rise up.
Anoti simuka,
He said, rise up.
anoti simuka,
He said, rise up.
simuka.
When there is a word
Kana pataurwa
that
shoko
has been declared over your life
pamusoro peupenyu hwako,
negatively
rinorwisana newe
by your mother,
namai vako,
negatively
rinorwisana newe
by your father,
nababa vako,
negatively
rinorwisana newe
by your enemies,
nevavengi vako,
don't sit there
haikona kuramba
and
wakagara
say
uchiti
it shall not prosper.
haribudirire.
But he said,
Asi anoti
bring it
simuka
into judgment.
Yes, sir.
woritonga.
Is there any lawyer here? Okay.
Pane gweta here pano,
When there is judgment,
kana mutongo wapiwa
it means
zvinoreva kuti
the bench has to be present
panofanira kuva
and the council also has to be present.
nekanzuro inofanira kunge iripo zvakare.
Judgment cannot be given by the council.
Mutongo haupiwe nekanzuro,
Judgment is given by the bench.
asi unopiwa nemukuru
This is what
wedare.
I mean.
Zvandinoreva ndezvizvi,
We have a prosecutor
tine muchuchisi,
and we have a defense attorney.
tine gweta,
And there is an issue.
pane nhau.
The prosecution can bring their word. They could bring their prosecution.
Muchuchisi anogona kuunza nhau yake,
And then the defense can also bring their defense.
magweta otsigira munhu wavo.
When they finish,
Kana vapedza
all that they said is nothing.
zvavataura zvese hazvireve chinhu.
There is somebody that sits on the bench
Pane mutongi
who is called a judge,
anonzi mutongi
he calls for the briefs
anopiwa na ugwa zacho
and he enters into his chamber.
opinda muimba yake mukati
And then he comes back.
odzoka
And then they say, court rise.
onzi sumukai
And everybody rises up on their feet.
vanhu vose vosumuka vamira netsoka
And
dzavo.
then here comes the judge.
mutongi obva auya
He's reading a judgment.
ari kuverenga mutongo
His authority is over the council.
simba rake rinodarika
His
vedare.
authority is over the defense.
simba rake rinodarika ramagweta
His authority is over the prosecution.
simba rake rinodarika ramuchuchu
So he rises up
saka anosimuka
to give judgment.
opa mutongo
When there is a case risen against you,
kana paita nhau
it is not your mother that you need,
hauverenge
but a prophetic voice that is higher than you, that is higher than your prosecution, that is higher than your defense. You need a prophetic word that will silence it, that will neutralize it.
Nyaradza nhau yose
Jacob
jakobo
has put a whole nation,
aisa rudzi rwese
a whole country
nyika yose
in captivity
mutapwa
to an extent
kusvika pakuti
there is no movement.
hapana chiri kufamba
There are no business opportunities.
hakuna mikana yekuita mabhizinesi
There are no political opportunities.
hakuna mikana yekuita mune
In
zvemakiriro
God,
mugadi
every other country is prospering,
nedzimwe nyika dzose vari kubudirira
but God is not prospering.
asi gadhi haisi kubudirira
Why?
sei
Because Jacob
nekuti jakobo
had declared
wakanga atema
a
chirevo
prophetic word
shoko rechiprofita
over the country of God.
pamusoro penyika yekwagadi
But here comes
asi
the
hoyo
prophet of prophets.
muprofita wavaprofita
Here comes
hoyo
a man also ordained and anointed by God.
murume wakazodzwa nekugadzwa
Here comes
hoyo
a 7-star general
mutungamiri wehondo
who rises up
anosimuka
and he says to the spirit of the legion
oti kumweya
and to
yemadhimoni
the spirit of the troop,
mweya yehondo iyi
from today,
kubva nhasi
liberty is for God.
gadhi adzikinurwa
And from the time
kubva nguva
he declared to the legion,
yaakataura izvozvo
leave that body,
ibva
they left the body.
akabuda
The
mati
troop
hondo iyi
checked out of town.
yakabuda muguta
The troops
hondo iyi
checking into town, checked into town,
yakapinda
because Jacob said it.
nekuti jakobo akanga
The
ataura
troop
hondo iyi
checked out of town
ikabuda muguta
because Jesus said it.
nekuti jesu akanga azvitaura
In everybody's life,
muupenyu hwemunhu wese
you need the prophetic voice
unoda izwi rechiprofita
that can detone,
Yes, sir.
inogona
that can detone
inogona
that time sensitive curse
kutukwa kwese kuri
that was placed over your life.
kwakaiswa pamusoro peupenyu
It
hwako
was said by Petra,
zvakataurwa
it was said by Jacob,
zvakataurwa najakobo
it was said by your mother,
zvakataurwa namai vako
it was said by your father.
zvakataurwa nababa
But
vako
as long as you belong to this ship,
kuti
and as long as the prophet stands here,
kuti kana
I
profita
stand
ari
to
pano,
decree and to declare
tinotema chirevo ichi
over every word that was said against your life
shoko rese rinorwisana neupenyu
by your enemies,
navavengi vako
every word
shoko rese
that was said against your life by your mother,
namai vako
every word that was said against your life
shoko rese rinorwisana neupenyu
by your loved ones, every negative word
shoko rese rinorwisana
that was said against you
zvakataurwa
by your ex-pastor, tonight,
navakanga ari wako
by the prophetic anointing,
nhasi
I declare it destroyed. I judge it tonight. I judge it tonight. I judge it tonight. I judge it tonight. Listen to me.
nditeerere
Some of you,
vamwe venyu
you are here.
muri pano
Your own mother
mai vako vekubereka
told you
vakakuudza
you shall not prosper.
haubudirire
Okay. I'm going to be making some serious declarations.
Yes,
tanga
sir.
tichitema zvirevo zvakadzama
And I can't believe some of you still standing there. I can't believe, whether you are in the overflow or here, I believe that you need to tap into something very supernatural. Listen to this.
kuchira pane zviri kuitika izvi
Some of you,
vamwe venyu
before you became part of this ship,
usati wapinda muchikepe chino
you went for somebody's husband
wakadanana nemurume wemwe munhu
and they said,
akati
you will never have a husband of yourself.
dzimai wacho akati haufi wakazowana wako murume
Yes, that was then.
zvakaitika munguva iyoyo
You were wrong.
wakakanganisa hongu
But the Bible said, If anyone be in Christ,
kana munhu aamuna Kristu
he's a new creation.
achisikwa chitsva,
All things are passed away.
zvinhu zvose zvapfuura.
Behold,
Tarira,
behold.
tarira.
When the Bible says behold,
Bhaibheri kana chitarira
it means
zvinoreva kuti
there is the tendency
pane kamuitiro
that you might look elsewhere.
kekuti unogona kutarisa.
If you were looking somewhere,
Kana wakatarisa ku
I came to tell you, behold.
Bhaibheri riri kuti
Tell your neighbor, behold.
Behold.
Tell your neighbor, behold.
Behold.
There are some of you,
vamwe venyu
when your mother gave birth to you,
mai vako
your
pavakakubereka,
mother said you are ugly.
mai vako vakati wakashata.
There are some of you,
Vamwe venyu
you stole daddy's $200,
wakapa mari
and daddy
$200.
said,
Baba vakati
you shall never prosper.
haufi wakabudirira.
There are some of you,
Kune vamwe venyu
your board said,
mukuru wekubasa
you shall never be promoted.
haufi wakasumudza.
There are some of you,
Pane vamwe
there were people of higher authority
pane vanhu vanga vaine zvinhu
that
zviri
declared
vakatema
a
zvirema
word over your life.
vachitaura
But
shoko.
I stand here today
Asi unomira pano
as a prophet of God,
muprofita washo.
and I declare
Yes.
Tema chiri
the opposite
Yes.
to happen in your life.
ngakuitika
The opposite of sicknesses, the opposite of failure. I pronounce prosperity over your life, marriage over your life, excellence over your life, advancement over your life in the name of Jesus. Anything that they said negatively over your life, it is your time of change. Your time of change. Clap your hands, begin to pray. Begin to pray. Begin to pray. Begin to pray.
Clap your hands and broken over your life.
Lift up your two hands.
simudza maoko ako.
God,
Iwe God,
God,
iwe God,
God,
iwe God.
a troop shall overtake you,
Hondo ichakukurira
but you
asi iwe
shall overcome at last.
uchaikunda pa.
This is the last time you will overcome. This is the last time you were defeated. The last defeat was yesterday. In the name of Jesus, I pronounce victory. I pronounce victory over your life. Victory over your business. Victory over your children. Shout victory! Come on, somebody shout. Somebody shout. Somebody shout. Whatever was said concerning your life
Zvakataurwa pamusoro peupenyu hwako
negatively
zvinorwisana neupenyu hwako
by your boss
nemutungamiriri wekubasa
that suggested
zvairatidza kuti
you will never prosper,
haufi wakabudirira,
you will never be promoted.
haufi wakasumudzwa.
I have an announcement.
Ndine chiziviso.
Let that boss
Mutungamiriri
lose his position. Let that boss lose his position. Your promotion is coming. Your promotion is coming. Your promotion is coming. Your promotion is coming. Your promotion is coming.
Kusimudzirwa kuri kuuya.
Some of you,
Vamwe venyu
you used to belong to all kinds of churches,
makambopinda kereke dzakasiyana siyana.
and your pastor
Mufundisi wako ikoko
stood in his pulpit
ndokumira papulpit
to pronounce a curse
taakutuke
over your life.
atuke upenyo wako.
So when you wake up,
Saka paunomuka,
the first thing you take for breakfast is that curse.
chino cha unojigama
Your
kwa-
lunch is the curse,
masikati unojigama
and your
kutupa-
dinner is that curse.
Maneru unojigama kutupa-
I stand behind this holy altar
Nombira pa altari.
also as a voice of Elohim,
Taura se-
and I pronounce that curse cancelled. That curse is 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 cancelled. Shout, it is cancelled.
Dani zira kutupa fiswa.
Some of you,
Vamwe wenyu.
you went into marriage
Akapinda mwanano.
maybe for the reason of something that was your fault.
Zvichida nekuda kwemhosva yako.
You were not saved,
Wanga usina-
and some of you it was not your fault,
Vamwe venyu yanga isiri mhosva yenyu.
but your husband used his authority
Asi murume wako akashandisa chikwiriso
as the head of your family.
semutungamiriri wemhuri yenyu.
And even before you got divorced,
Usati wapinda
he said over you,
akati
you
kwauri
can never have a husband.
haufa wakaroorwa zvakare.
I stand in this holy altar.
Nomira paari
I cancel the curse. I cancel the curse.
notuka
I
kutukwa.
cancel the curse.
Notuka kutukwa.
I cancel the curse.
Notuka kutukwa.
Shout on top of your voice. I cancel the curse.
Notuka kutukwa.
Some of you,
Vamwe venyu.
people of high authority
Vanhu vari pazvigaro zvepamusoro.
and high positions. High
Vanhu
positions.
vakagadzwa zvigaro zvepamusoro.
Whether he was your teacher,
Zvichida anga ari murairidzi wako
your instructor,
kana mumwe womudzidzisi,
your boss,
mukuru wekubasa,
your then pastor,
kana mufundisi wako,
your husband,
kana murume wako,
your father,
baba vako,
your mother,
mai vako,
people of higher authority
vanhu vanga vaine
may have pronounced
vakataura
negativities
zvinhu zvinorwisana
and
neupenyu
a
hwako.
curse
Vakatuka
over your life.
upenyu hwako.
But I stand in my full office
Asi tinomira muhofisi
as a
yangu
prophet of God
semuprofita
under the
waJehovha.
unction
Ndiri pasi
and the
pesi
anointing of my father, the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams.
baba vangu Nicholas.
I reverse the curse. I revoke the curse over your children, over your family, over your business. The curse is revoked. 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 Lift up your voice. Begin to pray. Place your seat at the altar and pray. Place your seat at the altar. Plead to the altar. Place your seat at the altar.
Reverse it.
Listen to me. You are going to pray today than you have ever prayed.
Chanamata sezvo
You are going to revoke
chatuka
those words
mashoko ese iwa
that Isaiah said
yakataurwa na
were pronounced over you.
yakataurwa pamusoro
You are going to revoke it.
chadzora
And you are going to invoke
chasumudza
the blessings
ropafadzo
that have been declared
yatemwa muno
by your father,
yakatemwa muno na baba
Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa.
profita Emmanuel.
And you are going to invoke
Tichasumudza
the blessings
ropafadzo
that I, your grandfather, has pronounced over you.
yangu ini sekuru venyu
And as you pray,
uchinamata
if you can release an offering,
ukagona
put the offering at the altar,
wochisa paarti
plead to the horns of the altar, and just begin to pray. Revoke the curse. Revoke the curse. Invoke the blessings. The curses are revoked. The curses are revoked. Now. 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 Lift up your voice.
I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. And all my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You will lead me through the fire, and in darkest night you were close like no